What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF here with another pregame show right before the Lakers take on the Washington Wizards. Now, this one should be interesting, guys. We lost a close one last night. Well, actually, it wasn't that close in the end, but we made it close, came back in the second half. So I'm looking for us to have another bounce back game here today. I've noticed, throughout the course of the season, we've been bouncing back nicely. So very hyped. What's up, Jesus? Welcome to the live stream, brother. But yes, the Lakers face the Washington Wizards today. The Wizards are currently have a similar record to ours. They're 5-5, and it's going to be a really, really tough game. Much tougher than the first one. And if you guys recall, in the first game, we barely won it. We went to overtime, and KCP hit a huge shot for us. Brandon Ingram was huge. He hit some crucial shots to take us into overtime. So it's going to be really crazy. Also, there's been rumors today about Julius Randle potentially not being with us in the long term. So that's tough to hear. I like the kid. I'm not sure how we're going to proceed moving forward because he's been doing great for us off the bench. So it's crazy. What's up, Aaron? Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'll take questions right after I'm done. But first, I wanted to assess the game tonight. So this game starts at 4 Pacific time. So right after I'm done with this video, I'm going to probably get right into watching the game or the pregame show there on TV. And it's going to be an interesting game simply because the first game, there was a lot of chatter about Lonzo Ball being shut down by John Wall. And John Wall was trashed because he did not deliver in the first game. He really didn't deliver for his team. KCP did a good job of concealing his game and pretty much not locking him up, but just, slowing him down. What's up, LA Forever? Welcome to the live stream, bro. And so we're going to need a repetition of that. I know John Wall's going to get his points. He did last game. He still dropped a good, 26 to 30. But we're going to need more of KCP on John Wall, to stop his penetration and just good team defense. Now, last game, everybody had Lonzo's back because they were talking smack about Lonzo. They were going to show him up. They were going to do all kinds of stuff. Hey, good morning. What's up, cool cat? Shout out to the Philippines. So yeah, the Lakers were going to do all kinds of stuff. Supposedly, they had Lonzo's back. Now we got to come out with the same kind of mentality, and we definitely have to put the clamps on him and make sure that he's good. Hey Rico, appreciate the donation. Thank you very much, brother. But yeah, the key to the game is going to be John Wall and keeping him out of the lane and making sure he doesn't do whatever he wants, kind of like Kyrie did last night, but. Also, second chance points, man. Marcin Gortat is very, very pesty. He likes to, work on that, crash the glass. He's good. He's a good finisher around the rim, and he definitely rebounds well. So Brook Lopez is going to have his hands tonight. Also, a very good defender. So that's going to be, that's going to be interesting. Ricardo, thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, the Washington Wizards are a stacked team. They haven't gotten off to the hottest start, but they're still 5-5. They're playing sub 500 basketball right now. Bradley Beal is a killer as well. He killed us in the first game, so we got to watch out for him. Make sure we come off of screens. I don't like us going under screens on shooters like Bradley Beal. So let's make sure we hedge those screens and close out on 3-point shots and all kinds of stuff. Again, keys to the game: keep John Wall out of the paint as much as possible. Force him to become a jump shooter and a contested shot jump shooter at that. So make him work for everything. Bradley Beal, don't give him too many wide open threes because this guy he's wet. All right, he's going to be cashing in all night long. And keep Marcin Gortat off the boards. Well, this is where we do have the advantage is our bench. And our bench has to bring it. They've been bringing it thus far this season. Last game, Julius Randle was the spark plug off the bench. Him and Clarkson did work. So we're going to need more of that. The first game we played, Washington, Kyle Kuzma was coming off the bench. So this is a different roster. We also had Larry Nance, who played really well. So yeah, what we have to do is we have to come out really, really hard. And we have to get off to a good start because I notice games that we lose, we start off really bad. And even though we work back into these games, we dug ourselves too deep into a hole that it's hard to come out of that hole. So it's just crazy, guys. Thanks, guys, for all the love. I appreciate it. It's going to be a hard game, like I said. John Wall's going to be looking to prove that, that he can dominate Lonzo Ball or whoever's guarding him. Like I said, TNT was hard on him last game because he was running his mouth and he didn't back it up. So this is going to be a big time. I sense a big time game coming out of John Wall. I just want us to be within 10 points the whole game. If we fall back, I don't want us to fall like to 20 like we did last game, because then, like I said, you exert so much energy just trying to catch up that when it's time to put a team away, you don't have a shot. So hopefully it's a competitive game again tonight. Like I said, most games have been competitive this season. We just had, like I said, the Clipper game was the worst one. But like I said, keep Marsh and Gortat off the boards. We need a bigger game from Brook Lopez tonight as well. Brook Lopez was not good at the last game, so we need a much bigger game from him. Brandon Ingram has been steady. We're going to need Kuzma to step up. Hopefully Lonzo can pitch in with a double-double. And KCP, hopefully he hit some shots. We need a little bit from everybody, but this is going to be one of those good test games on the road. You know, if we can win this one and stay around the 500 mark, we're good. I'll take a couple of questions really quick. What did you think of Luke's explanation for subbing Bogut in last game? It's baloney. There's no explanation for messing up a good rotation, period. It's just baloney, man. But like I said, I'm patient. This is barely the coach's official second year, so I'm still patient, man. Oh, nice. It's good to hear. Are you that Kings fan? Oh, not talking to me. We might get murked, to be honest. I know. If we come out flat-footed, we're definitely going to get destroyed. And I hope that's not the case. But I agree with you. Hopefully we come out, you know, just good and ready to compete, man. We need to be... The glass killed us last game. We need to clear the glass. And they have some guys like Marsh and Gortat, you know, maybe Otto Porter, who can attack the glass really hard. So we're going to make sure we box out, and we got to make sure we do the fundamentals, like not turn the ball over. That really killed us last game as well. So it's just crazy, man. Thank you, Wavy Vibes. I appreciate you, bro. There's just so much the Lakers can do right. We have the offensive power. Like, when the season started, a lot of people didn't know if we could score up in the hundreds. Yes, we can. We have depth on this roster. We have one of the best benches. Brook Lopez is a borderline all-star. Like I said, Brandon Ingram stepped it up big time. So we have the personnel. All we need to do now is execute, and we got to make sure that we cut back on turnovers. That's the number one killer. We are the second worst team at turnovers in the league. That tells you that, you know, every year it's one thing. And we're also one of the worst three-point shooting teams as well. But my thing is this: if your three ball's not falling, you have to attack and get higher percentage buckets. And you have to go, for example, if you have a mismatch, you have to exploit it. If Kyle Kuzma has a mismatch in the paint, you have to feed him the ball and let him go to work and live with the results. Smart basketball. But that's all on the coaching staff and on the players, so they have to bring it today. What's good, everybody? Dan, what do you think of Lonzo's leadership? You know what? I'm not as upset as other people are with Lonzo Ball. I've seen great things in his game. For example, he had 4 blocks last game. Nobody ever talks about that. For a point guard to have 4 blocks, that's crucial. And one of those blocks was on Kyrie Irving. And then he did a nice little sling pass over to Kyle Kuzma for a transition bucket. So he's actually a very underrated defender. I love that. He's a good rebounder. Love it. Great passer. I love that. And if you look at his stats, earlier today I retweeted. I was talking to one of you guys earlier today, and I told him to check out my Twitter because I retweeted a tweet that showed Jason Kidd's stats his rookie season and Lonzo Ball's, and they're identical. So those of you who fear for this kid's future, just be patient. If anything, Lonzo's shooting a higher three-point percentage and is averaging a little bit more assists. So this kid has a Hall of Fame future ahead of him. We just have to be patient. Very much like everybody was just destroying Brandon Ingram to start the season. Just stay the course, guys. This is a long season. This is barely our 11th game. This is going to be our 12th game. So we're not even a quarter way in. No, definitely don't bring Lonzo off the bench, guys. I'm telling you, don't give up on the kid. As soon as he has a great game, everybody's going to hop back on board. Just give the kid time. It's all in his head. He said it himself in an interview recently. He said, it's in my head. I know I can shoot. I was a good shooter at UCLA. I'm a good shooter in Summer League. I know I can shoot. So definitely just give him time. And, of course, I feel like his conditioning needs some work as well. Like this guy said right here, Mario, he needs to dunk. Well, how's he going to do that if he's not in shape, you know? No single digits for Lonzo tonight. He plays like he's at the Chino Hills Fitness Center. Yeah, but it's a long season, so he probably feels, you know, I feel like the NBA is getting really aggressive with him. Last night, I saw him grab a couple rebounds, and Boston Celtic player just came over his back, totally fouled him. He's not getting the calls. He's a rookie, so I feel like he needs to get out of his mind and play aggressive. When he started playing aggressive last night, he was amazing. But when when he just lackadaisical and just goes through the motion sometimes. And again, that just thinks that I just think that when people get tough with him, it gets him out of his zone. But he needs to get tough in return. You know, some players are bad mad players, and some players are good mad players. Brandon Ingram seems to be a good mad player. When he gets upset, he makes plays. So I like that. Dad, we need Lionel Hollins. Oof, too early, man. Like I said, I'm not ready to talk about firing the coach yet. I know a lot of you guys are displeased, and rightfully so. He's made some questionable calls, but this is his team. Let's let him run it. He's in the driver's seat right now. After this year, if you know we don't make playoffs and we're not even a competitive team by the end of the year, then okay, we can start talking new head coach. But for now, let's just give him a little bit of time. Aaron Baines or Brook Lopez, man. Brook Lopez is a much better player than he showed last night. He just he settled too much for the 3-ball, and it's bad news when you're just settling all the time. You got to make sure that you're mixing it up and you're going with the higher percentage buckets. If your 3-ball's not falling, mix it up. Go inside, dominate. He can dominate. He has a nice soft touch inside, back to the basket game. I really like Brook Lopez's game. He just didn't bring it yesterday for whatever reason that is. Jason Kidd is different in that Kidd was a hound on defense. But you know what? He wasn't a hound on defense his whole career. Well, I guess you could say that he was. I guess even his rookie season he was impressive. But Lonzo's not far back, man. I'm telling you, he's a very underrated defender. Only thing is he gets caught in screens a lot. That's his only problem. But once he learns to read screens, go under when it's not a good shooter, and hedge through the screen when it is a good shooter, and trust that the defense is going to switch if needed, that's when he's going to become a much better defender. But as far as one-on-one, he stays in front of the player unless there's a screen and roll. Like I said, that's the only weakness. But he just needs to keep playing, setting the course. Like I said, last night he had 4 blocks. He averages like a steal a game or steal and a half or something like that. So he's been pretty decent. He also rips players sometimes when they're going up and they're at the rim. He takes away easy buckets. He has blocked a couple of shots. He's impressed me on defense. Everybody said he was going to be really bad. I don't see really bad. I see average right now. And he can be above average. He has the length. He has the athleticism. Just needs to get in shape, like I said. And he's only going to continue to get better. Let's be patient with this young cat because he's already showing a lot of promise. So just stay the course and just be patient. I remember when Aaron Baines was much smaller and when he was on the Spurs, Blake Griffin dominated Baines in the playoffs. Oh, yeah. He's just a role player, man. We should not get destroyed by role players like that. That's a no-no. I want to see how Kuzma bounces back from that bad game and to see if Randle plays before Bogut. Agreed, Dan? Yeah, I agree. And even though it was a bad game for Kuzma, it was really just a bad game because he was in foul trouble. But offensively, I mean, he doesn't force too much. So that's what I like about Kyle Kuzma. I love players that don't negatively impact the game for your team, like the Swaggy P's of the world. Swaggy P, he could be a plus or a minus. If he shoots too much, it's going to be a minus because he's taking away other shots. And then when he's not taking high basketball IQ shots, that's even worse. Players like Kyle Kuzma, they only take good high percentage baskets. That's why he's averaging, I believe, over 50% from the field as a rookie. That's impressive. So there's so much to be impressed with Kyle Kuzma. Last game, it was only bad because he got in foul trouble, but I think he could have easily got his 15 to 20 had he not gotten into foul trouble. I think he ended up with like 10 points anyway. So Julius Randle played mad last night. Luke Walton is going to run him out of town. It already sounds like Julius and Luke don't have a good relationship, and that's not good because you don't want, if you're supposedly a quote-unquote coach's player, right? You want your players to love you. And you can't have that hostility in the locker room. That's bad for chemistry. So, unfortunately, it looks like we might lose Randle. He might not be happy. But we'll see what happens. Anything can change from here to the end of the year. What up, Dan? Loving your content, driving and listening to your video. That's what's up, Lewis. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to Lewis. But Swaggy P off the bench, that's underrated. It depends what team, bro. Honestly, Swaggy P didn't really... He won one game for us that I can remember versus the Thunder when he hit that shot, when he stole the ball from Lou Williams. But other than that game, how many games did he really impact where he helped? Like, he might have helped, he chipped in, but he doesn't have that super impact. Like, I feel like he's like J.R. Smith. They're either going to shoot you into a game or out of a game. And more times than not, high-volume scorers shoot you out of games. I prefer... players that don't need to shoot too much to get their points, like Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, high-efficiency rated players. These players are the reason that guys like LeBron are going to come because they're going to still be able to get their shots. Guys like Paul George are going to want to come. Boogie, because of guys that are high efficiency players like Kyle Kuzma. They're good for recruiting. Guys like Swaggy P, not the best for recruiting. They're good on a stacked team. Like J.R. Smith's good on a stacked team, just blending in with the Cavs, right? When they need some instant scoring punch, that's fine. But we have enough of that off the bench right now. We don't need high volume scorers, you know what I mean? So I'm not mad we lost Swaggy P. It is what it is. I know we need shooters, but we need efficient shooters. Dan, why will Randle will not be with us long term? Haven't read the news. Well, apparently there was a couple of media outlets that were saying Julius is not happy with his role with the Lakers, and pretty much him and Luke Walton are having a bit of a falling out because, of course, with his skill set, he feels like he deserves more playing time, maybe even starting lineup position. So since he becomes a free agent, he might look to sign elsewhere for more money. It just makes more sense. So if that's the case, though, I would sit down with Randle and have a talk with him. And if that's the case, if he doesn't want to be here in the future, I would trade him only to get some value in return and maybe to unload Deng's contract. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, a lot can change. Winning cures everything. So the Lakers start winning and Julius is a integral part of that system, then I think he will be a lot happier. But it is what it is. Dan, where can I watch the game? I think it's coming out on. It's not coming out on ESPN or TNT today. So only what's that? Time Warner Sportsnet, or not Time Warner? It's called Spectrum now. Sportsnet. So yeah, on Spectrum, bro. If you don't have Spectrum, you can always go to like a local restaurant or a bar. Sometimes they play them there. Sometimes they don't, unfortunately. Since KCal 9, I don't know a lot of them that do. Chili's plays it. If not, Mobdro, download Mobdro on your phone, and sometimes they have it there, but I don't know, bro, honestly. What's your score prediction for the game? Well, my prediction is if we pull this one out, it's going to have to be in the 100s because it's a high-scoring team, the Washington Wizards. So I think we'd have to score like 110 points to like, we're going to have to hold them to like 103, 105-ish. But it's just... it's crazy. I don't know if we can pull it out tonight. I really want to say yes, and I always believe in my team. My heart tells me yes, but my head tells me no. Like, tonight's going to be tough. I just feel a huge game coming from John Wall. Like I said, he was brutally criticized right after that TNT game, and that's just a disservice for us because he's just saving it for the next time he faces us. So it is what it is, but it's just motivation to a beast like John Wall. He doesn't need motivation, man. He's already a beast, so it is what it is. Back-to-back L's. Hopefully not, Adam. Hopefully not. Let's cross our fingers and hope the Lakers show up tonight. And if they don't, oh well. But I really want them to show up and get us back to playing 500 basketball. Yeah, Wizards are definitely looking for revenge. This is a trap game in the schedule. You look at it, and it's one of those games where if we would have won yesterday, we would have had the momentum, and I would feel a lot better about tonight. But since we lost, guys are going to be hanging their head. Hopefully they can just brush it off and get right. But most of the time, the players that brush it off are veterans. We're filled with young players, so they're still probably feeling the effects of last night's loss. And hopefully that doesn't carry over, but more likely than not, it will, right? What we don't need is a slow start again. We need a strong start and a strong finish. Middle as well, but mainly strong start and strong finish. And that's going to be tough to do in Washington. They're hard to beat in Washington. Beal has been cooking as well. May need a quick switch out for Randle early. Yeah, Randle definitely needs to get more minutes. Playing small ball was definitely effective versus this team. So we have to do our research and don't fix what's not broken, Luke. Why? I know Andrew Bogut and you have a relationship because, he coached them in Golden State. That's the reason he signed here, because he promised them minutes. But it's a business, man. If Bogut hasn't looked good all season, he needs to sit. Same thing with Deng. We need to get at least 500 on this road trip, Dan. Agree, man. Let's make it happen. And these are crucial games because we're playing against the East, right? If we want to make the playoffs in the West, we have to beat the East. So these are crucial games, in my opinion. When do you think plays will be called for Kuzma? I don't know. Maybe like around January, unfortunately. It takes a lot for young players to establish themselves in this league. So I hope around January, Kuzma gets some isolation plays in the post. I would love to see him with the footwork inside. And I would like to see him, the way he has a great first step. So if we ISO him out in the wing somewhere and he has a smaller player or a slower player, he's going to get to the rack. So definitely that'll be interesting to see. I do I do wish we could do more ISO plays for Kyle Kuzma. But anyways, guys, that's going to cut it for my pregame show. As you guys can hear, my dog's getting rowdy in the back, so I'm going to go feed him again. And yeah, I'll catch you guys right after the game. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we get this W, man, and we're more positive after the game. Because last night was a little bit discouraging, but we can do it. If we play the way we played the first game, then there's definitely a chance. The way we played the Washington Wizards the first time. So shout out to everybody for showing up. I'll catch you guys right after the game. Peace out.